Hello fellow classmates, this is Steve Cruzcamp, and my assigned presentation topic today is utilizing its inherent attributes, apply BPMN to a singular primary process within your current or previous organization. I have taken the approach to share how taking an existing process and modeling it in BPMN will benefit my organization. This is an existing process in use at my company that I modeled in iGraphics in order to share with all of you. The service being represented in the process here is the request for an integration services, which is being initiated by an application development group in IT. This is basically our service value chain with emphasis on taking the new customer request all the way through to sustaining the integration. This process is good to help get an idea what steps we go through, but without a tool or BPM system to standardize the process, there is no guarantee the process is actually being followed. You will also note that there is very little communication identified with the customer beyond the initial request. Also, there is no reference to how or what types of data we would like to capture along the way. Now let's talk about the elements of BPMN that help us to go beyond the standard process shapes we have been using in our iGraphics exercises. The shapes you see are a subset that you can find in iGraphics or most BPMN-enabled process modeling tools. Think of the use of these shapes as a way to design how systematically you would like to enhance the existing process. The three data objects along with the message objects were used in my new proposed process that I will discuss in the next slide. This is the proposed BPMN-enabled process based on the existing value chain process. You will notice the addition of the BPMN-enabled shapes, the additional swim lane to represent the database or tool that will be used to gather the inputs and system actions. Now you can see represented by the dotted connections the various data that will be collected along the way. Also, there is now customer communication built in along the process so that the customer is now a part of the process and needs to provide necessary authorization before the process steps can continue. This process was developed recently when I was sharing with a peer of mine the concepts I have been learning in the class. You can imagine as we did that instead of looking at the process to define how we should work, with a BPM system the process can basically become a highly customized application to facilitate exactly how you want to conduct your business or service. Here is a view of the processes side by side so you can see the differences. Again, you can see how BPMN is being utilized to enhance the process. I chose this topic in week 1 as a challenge to myself not only to learn about BPM, which we have been working with and implementing in my work group, but to model and implement one of the processes we use so that we can mature our existing business process using BPMN. So here are my discussion questions. Please explain how enabling processes with BPMN could make a difference where you work. And how might using BPM with a BPMS increase the use of service-oriented architecture or SOA services? Thanks for listening, and I look forward to your comments and feedback.